चलो लेट्स गेट स्टार्टेड। वेलकम टू द वेबिनार। आज का एजेंडा है वी विल बी एक्सप्लोरिंग करियर आफ्टर 12th. That brings me to an assumption that you guys are either someone who has passed 12th or parents of a student who have just passed their 12th. Today's agenda mainly three parts में है. Okay, the first part is I'll talk about after 12th, specifically around commerce stream, what all careers are there in the world of accounting and finance. This will take around 20 minutes. ठीक है, first 10 for accounts and another 10 minutes for finance. After that, we can talk about courses. We can understand courses only when we understand the careers. So what courses or certifications are there? You can consider. And after that, we can move on to some Q&A. That's it. Short and sweet agenda. Question and answer. They say the session is overall very interactive. So if you have a question in between, let's say if I'm speaking, preferably don't interrupt. You can raise your hand. I'll call out your name. But yes, if you want to ask something in between, you can raise your hand and ask. Starting with career after 12th in commerce. See, it comes down to how a business operates. Take example of any typical business, okay, though it be product based या फिर service based. Now, what is product based? You are handed over a little product. Say car ho gaya, say laptop ho gaya. These are all product based businesses. What are service based? They serve you. It's more to do with experience. Take hospitality. When you visit hotels, take entertainment services when you visit theaters. These are all service based businesses. किसी भी business में there is a business team which is working towards, or let's call it front end team. There is a front end team which is working with the clients, with the consumers, and they are the one who get you the revenue. Lekin there is another segment which works in the back end, in the middle office, and in the back end to make sure that the business runs well, the business exists well and grows further. यहाँ पर एक टीम आती है that is called as accounting and financial management team. So what exactly is the idea behind accounting and financial management team? Start करते हैं financial management के साथ. See, when you start this business, पहले let's say you started car production, laptop production, hospitality में getting a property on rent, hiring staff, entertainment service के लिए same getting property on rent, hiring staff. You need capital, right? So financial management team or financial management function overall is a function where you have knowledge of how capital market works, how the overall segment of capital works. When we start a business, how to raise capital, how to approach different investors. Bank से loan लेना चाहिए. Should we go for a loan or should we go to an investor to sell some ownership in the business and get capital? So यहाँ पर mainly capital management का part आता है. Let's say if there is some cash left over in the business, that also comes under financial management. ये रहा पहला segment. Now once you have capital, you start with something called as financial planning and analysis. Let me take example. Okay. Let's say we have Dheeraj in our class. Dheeraj one day decided to onboard company as a CFO. Now, after onboarding company as a CFO at the first day of the year, when he has capital, what he will do? He will plan for the year. कि अगले 3 महीने में what all expenses are there? In next 6 months, what all expenses are there? In next 1 year, what all expenses are there? After planning, he'll get to know, okay, is this capital enough or not? Or what all problems could come up? What all potential risks could come up? And not just risk, in this planning as well, whenever he sets up a specific budget, this budget will come with an expectation. Let's say there is sales budget. The expected sales is we will sell 100 units of any product, let's say laptop, car, and let's say we are selling it at $10. ठीक है, छोटा सा example है. Let's say it's a snack packet or something like that. So the total revenue expected is $1,000. Now this is expectation. At the end of the year, Dheeraj will go back and check what is my actual data, and he will start investigating. Am I performing up to the mark? Am I selling, required amount of units at required amount of price? Everything. So all this kind of, management accounting, costing, performance analysis, FP&A comes under a team called as, we started with financial management that raised the capital for the business, and now we are deploying that capital where a team called FP&A works on this, and there is a strategy team as well. If the finance team partners up with strategy team, there is finance business partnership as well, थोड़ा और senior level. इसके senior तो फिर you have then C suite, CFO वगैरह position आ जाता है, and you do everything. I mean, you plan, you have a strategy in mind, you analyze, and you also investigate. Performance analysis भी it's something that you take up. And lastly, once performance analysis or everything is done, then we have reporting. Whatever data we have, उसको आगे report करना है. We have to report that. All this comes under something called as management accounting. So we have basically two scope or two career trajectories to go ahead with. We have financial management and we have management accounting. Now beyond this also there is another trajectory. Let's say you want to work in core financial management, capital markets के business के अंदर काम नहीं करना. You don't want to work inside a business. Rather, you want to work with investors who analyze businesses. You want to work with banks who invest their money. You want to work with other players who are part of the financial market, capital market. So this trajectory is a bit different. This type of financial management is different, which goes into core capital markets, and this is mainly business finance. ये होता है overall scope. Now, if I had to, let's say, dig deep into this trajectory, कि एक 12th के बाद, how can a candidate expect to enter into corporate after your graduation? That trajectory also I'll build. See, ideally, when a student passes 12th, nowadays you have two options. You have BCom with 3 year and 4 year option. We can discuss this later that which option is better, 3 year or 4 year, but you can complete your BCom. Now, the ideal plan is please go ahead with job experience after this. A lot of candidates ask me, sir, should we do an MBA? I have a clear explanation for that. That after getting 1 to 2 years of experience, then MBA makes more sense. Okay, immediately BCom के बाहर जाके MBA doesn't make sense. We will discuss that later why. Lekin when you're targeting job after 3 to 4 years, this is the time period for you to build your profile. And when you are targeting something in management accounting or you are targeting something in finance, the formula is simple. Make sure you have three things on your CV. First is a professional certificate, something that is very popular after 12th. To start with is US CMA, there is ACCA, and somewhat CFA is becoming popular, but you cannot start immediately after 12th. And there are a few other courses as well. These are the famous ones. Now, after professional certification, try for a small internship experience as well. And this could be a mix. Try for a social venture after first year, and after second year, you can try for a corporate venture. And third, technical skills. In today's day and age, AI should be the first thing you should be targeting. Plus all other technical skills, जो Excel हो गया, Power BI हो गया, all this. Plus, let me also add soft skill. Soft skill, to be honest, one of the most important skills. So soft skill is basically how your vocabulary skill is, speaking ability, and so on. These are three things you should be targeting. Once you have these three things, very easy. Make sure you also have decent marks in your BCom, then it becomes fairly easy. There is certain process you need to follow, and then you can land placements. Let's say if you associate yourself to any trainer, I am trainer at FinStreet Education, so there is placement assistance forum where we take care of all this. But yes, this is what your ideal trajectory should be. Now, after this, you can work for at least, let's say, 1.5 to 2.5 years and then you can target your MBA from tier 1 college compulsorily. If it's not tier 1, to be honest, it is not worth it. Okay, this is actually the plan that I also followed, and I did fairly well when it comes to entering corporate. Okay. So this is the overall, roadmap to start with. Now, once you will reach over here. I don't want to, let's say, go too much technical into kahan se kahan tak jaate ho, but let me just give you an overall flow of your career, how the pyramid gets made. See, when you enter into job market now, you usually enter at an entry level role. An entry level pay, you are considered as a trainee. You are either an analyst, associate, accountant, or any other, finance operation, junior executive, वगैरह type of uh, titles are given to you. Now, what happens during this time, if you have a certification, your learning would be at much higher pace because you already know everything. You have matlab, logical expertise hai, you just need practical exposure. So after this, you can easily jump to the next level where you can go get into, let's say, a bit senior role where you're training others, plus you're getting better with your work. You're getting into reporting type of work and analysis type of work. After this, you can actually target core FP&A profiles where you usually become a team leader or a manager. After this, you can target finance business partnership where you work with the strategy team, you drive the business ahead. And then your highest tier is, let me use a different color, then you become part of the senior management. Under finance business partnership and senior management, you usually arrive at AVP, VP level, and eventually taking you to CFO level. This is how your overall career trajectory looks like inside a business when you're part of business finance. With this, we come to end of our first point of discussion. At career after 12th, account and finance, kya hota hai, what all trajectory is there, what all options are there. I'm giving you surface level knowledge to start with, but I hope this gives you some context. And I'll take a small break over here because I want to keep this interactive. And in my usual classes, what I do is I just ask everyone, students, okay, if you're clear with the concept, give me why in the chat. So if you're clear with whatever I've explained, can you just type why and press enter? I'll get an idea if you're clear or not. Which questions rahenge? So please ask. Okay, I have first vote incoming from Uttara. Vanshika is clear, Agam is clear, Ayush, Ibrahim, Ananya. What about specializations? Okay, we'll discuss this, Ananya. Jigar, I'll come to that. We'll be discussing courses only now. But before that, I'll just quickly answer Ananya's doubt. What about specialization? See, there are usually four courses I observe students getting into. Okay. The first typical choice is BCom. I mean, traditionally, BCom has been there for quite some time. Nowadays, there is something called as BCom FinTech as well. This gives you an edge. But जो भी whatever you learn in BCom FinTech ना, that can be replicated elsewhere. मतलब एक college से BCom किया, technical courses बाहर से किया, that is also doable. But it is finance plus technology. So up to you. This is your first choice usually students get into. Second, I have observed BBA. So within BBA, if you have an option for finance, please go ahead with it. Should be a good specialization. BCom के लिए भी, if you're going ahead with specialization, if you have banking and finance as a specialization, go ahead with it. कभी कभी BFSI ऐसा भी एक specialization होता है, banking, financial services and insurance ऐसे कुछ. So you can target such specializations, but preferably go towards accounting, finance, banking should be helpful. So this is the second choice usually students go for. Third I've seen is students go for BMS, Bachelor of Management Studies. Again, if you're taking this, make sure you go get into finance or accounts at specializations. And fourth one is BAF. This is the latest one I got to know 2-3 years ago. A Bachelor in Accounting and Finance. So ये by default accounting finance cover करता है. This is good to go. Green signal. Okay. Ananya, I hope that answers your question. BBA finance will do to answer your question again. If you're going at BBA. Okay, great. Chalo, let's go towards courses now. I will build a very simple trajectory. Looking at this trajectory, wherever you feel comfortable, please go ahead with that course. Okay. The overall world of management, accounting, and finance. As I said, split into two segments. We have business finance, where you work inside a business. यहाँ पर the main role, or I would say main deliverables of finance team are three. First, as I said, raising capital, deploying capital. Along with deploying capital, please keep a check of FP&A. Along with this, you also need, chalo, we'll add it separately. After deploying capital, do performance analysis. And lastly, you have reporting. If you are interested in this type of work, okay, you are working inside a business, making sure that all the financial aspects are taken care of, then US CMA is a much recommended course. Now, within CMA, CMA Management, Accounting and Finance दोनों को cover करता है, part 1, part 2. Plus, the main highlight is it's a general course. एक niche में एक छोटे से role में नहीं डालता है. It's a general course. So, if you are someone who has passed 12th, best option to be considered as of now. Now, within CMA or after completing CMA, or you are someone who's looking to go a bit beyond this. So, beyond this क्या आता है? There are certain regulatory work. Regulatory work मतलब कुछ government के rules है, regulations है, investors के expectation है, we have to follow that. And this is region specific. Region specific मतलब इंडिया का अलग होगा, बाकी जगह का अलग होगा. So India में if you observe, if someone wants to do audit मतलब make sure there is no fraud, scam happening, catch hold if anything is going wrong. Audit is there and there is tax. ये भी India specific. If someone wants to get into this, along with all this, जो भी मैंने ऊपर mention किया है, this goes towards CA when it comes to, let's say, pursuing a career in India. If you want to learn the same or whatever I've mentioned at above at the top, उसमें अगर audit and tax add करना है for US it is CPA. Not just US, actually Canada, Australia में भी है. Then you want to do the same thing, it's ACCA. ACCA covers everything mentioned above, plus audit and tax, but mainly for the European region. So this is how the trajectory of courses fall under business finance. To summarize, you have let me use green color. You have CMA US that takes care of all these four functions so that you are industry ready. But let's say if you look forward to any other specialization which is regulatory in nature, you want to learn how audit works as well. You want to learn how tax works as well. So you can target additional courses. As I said, for UK ACCA. For UK, there is one course ACCA. For US, Australia, Canada, there are CPA exams. And specifically, if you're going for India, you have your Chartered Accountancy as exam. That's it. Now it's your choice. It's completely your choice. Okay? Just because I teach CMA, I won't be like, do CMA. It's perfectly fine. It's your choice. I started my trajectory with something interesting. I did my BCom. I got access to CMA through case studies, and I said, okay, I like the curriculum. This is valuable. Second benefit was, after this, if I want to pursue something, my base would be ready, my foundation would be ready. And after that, I actually pursued multiple courses. And it actually, somewhere connected dots with what I learned with in CMA as well. Secondly, sometimes we have confusion. We don't know, should we get into audit? Should we get into tax? Should we get into risk? Should we get into investment management? There are so many options. So what CMA does is CMA covers everything. Touch and go है majority places में. And there are few topics where CMA goes very much in depth, जहाँ पर expertise है. So in that case, if you are still confused, you don't know where to go, CMA is a good starting point. It will give introduction to all different segments. Though exams say one goes towards accounting, second towards finance, you get to learn both. After that, wherever you want to double down, you can. But this is your first overall trajectory of certifications. Any doubts in this? Or let me take a vote this time again. If you are crystal clear, can I get Y in the chat? Okay, Ananya, Ayush, Vanshika. TSP. Oppo. Please send me your number. अरे लकी, देता हूँ एंड में देता हूँ. Sir, what subjects are there in US CMA? How many exams are there in a year? Okay. I, what should we pursue after CMA? I'll give you a very simple trajectory. The second topic which is not picked up is if you don't want to work in business finance, if you want to go in capital markets. But please note, capital markets mein mathematics is heavy. Okay, the difficulty level is high. If you're okay with mathematics, you're okay with high difficulty level, you can consider CFA or you can consider FRM. These are two really good courses. But one thing about FRM, okay, FRM in terms of statistics, high level. I did a mistake. मैंने SY या TY में start किया था. I did a mistake by starting so early. I had to study at a very extensive amount of efforts at very high difficulty level. I still recall मैं 1.5 साल के लिए college नहीं गया था. I had to skip college. I left everything. तब जाके मेरा FRM हुआ and I was the only one in my so मेरे class में कई सारे I had joined class somewhere. मेरे साथ जितने भी BCom के candidates थे, no one passed. I passed and I know what route I had to take to pass. ठीक है मुझे क्लास में तो pass I couldn't pass through class. So for the second attempt I started self study and I did some very different things. तब जाके वो pass हुआ है. But anyways, coming back to this discussion now, caution: if you're going under this segment, you need good mathematics and high level of. You should be ready for high level of difficulty. Same with CA in India, high level of difficulty. But I wouldn't call the curriculum as much difficult. It's rigorous, I would agree, but passing is difficult. 10-12% result लगता है तो fairly passing would be difficult. बाकी courses are very much doable. उतना difficulty नहीं है. Passing rate is also 30-40%. But yes, some of you asked questions around US CMA. I'll give you a quick overview. Make it 12th past webinar only, so I won't dwell extremely in depth of US CMA, but I'll get started. Part 1 में, imagine that you're working as an accountant. As an accountant, क्या क्या करना होता है? You have to report the data. You have to do FP&A. You have to do costing. After costing, you have to do performance analysis. To do audit. In this case, internal audit. And lastly, you should know technology. All this gets covered under part 1. There are 6 topics. Okay? Section A से section F. 6 topics, 6 sections. You can complete this. And then you have part 2. Part 2 में, think of yourself as a financial analyst. Financial analyst होते हुए क्या आना चाहिए? First thing, you should know how to analyze statements. So financial statement analysis. You should know how corporate finance works. Equity क्या होता है? Debt क्या होता है? How stock market works. Buying, selling, IPO वगैरह. You should know all this, how corporate finance works. Basically, whenever a business needs money, how they can approach investors and on what basis investors will also give money to a business. That is corporate finance. इसके बाद we have section C, which is decision analysis. So at what point the business will become profitable? At what point we should give a discount? At what point we should increase the price? Strategy, economics, demand, supply. 11th-12th में जो सीखा है आपने, elasticity of demand, elasticity of supply, उसका practical application. Mobile market में कैसे चलेगा, chips market में कैसे चलेगा, how pricing impacts demand supply, all that strategy, economics वगैरह gets covered under this. After this, we have risk management. What could go wrong with the business? After that, we have capital budgeting. With limited capital, how should we utilize all the money? And lastly, we have ethics. All this comes under part 2. That's why I called this is management accounting mainly, and this is financial management. Gives you insights into both, and exam pattern is quite easy. It's up to you. Okay? You can go ahead with part 1 if you like. You can go ahead with part 2 if you like. Typical trend है students go ahead with part 2, but part 1 I don't think उतना कुछ अलग है. Personally, I'm unbiased. In general, आई फील कि पार्ट वन में ना बिकॉज ऑफ अकाउंटिंग रूल्स एंड एवरीथिंग थोड़ा सा टीडियस बन जाता है इन टर्म्स ऑफ मेमोराइजिंग दोस IFRS यूएस गैप वगैरह. बट अदर देन दैट एवरीथिंग इज लॉजिक ड्रिवन. सो it's up to you which part you want to go ahead with. But whichever part you take, you will have an exam of 100 MCQs, which are for 375 marks, goes on for 3 hours. Now, here's the interesting part. If you clear at least 50% of, or if you get at least 50% of the MCQs, not marks, MCQs correct, then you get one more hour. In that one more hour, you will get two case-based questions. And this case-based questions are mainly for three, I should have written it over here. You get two case-based questions for 125 marks. So if you observe this part, what is the total marks in the CMA paper, part 1 or part 2? Any. It is 500 marks. And if you score 360 or above, you basically pass the exam. Now, a hidden secret from the industry. Part 1 का passing rate is typically around 35 to 40%. So passing rate thoda is on lower end. But if I talk about part 2 ka passing rate, it is usually between 40 to 50%. So in general, if you want to be part of a pool where the passing rate is higher, again students go ahead with part 2. Part 1 में थोड़ा passing rate कम रहता है globally. ठीक है, I am talking about global rates of CMA global passing rate. So that's it about CMA exams. Any queries? You can, let me go at the top. Ibrahim, what should we pursue after CMA? Okay, let me give you combinations also. One simple would be CMA plus technical skills. No, we are building an AI course. May तक वो live हो जाएगा. Plus other courses we have in place. This should make you job ready. So this is fine. But if you're someone who's looking for combinations, after CMA, the best synergy is something that you get with CMA plus CPA. ठीक है, CPA का 30-40% करिकुलम हो जाता है. सो करिकुलम और सिलेबस वाइज यू हैव बेनिफिट. सिलेबस वाइज यू हैव बेनिफिट. प्लस जो भी यूएस फर्म्स है, whatever US companies are there who have sent their work to India, you will come in handy for both type of work, right? Management, accounting, financial हो या फिर audit हो, reporting हो, जो भी हो. You will have complete end-to-end expertise. And eventually, I've seen this combination do really well in the market. So this is one advice. CMA के बाद what I did, 2 years of experience, and then MBA. MBA from tier 1. So IIM Blackie या फिर जो FMS, JBIMS, SPJIMS वगैरह है, such colleges. Again, this is scope wise, growth wise, everything wise, you will do exceptionally well. After this, let's say if you want to get into corporate finance, so CMA plus CFA is also one combination that I've seen. This specifically works for corporate finance if you want to get into it, or even consultancy also. This is kind of preferable. Yes, these three combinations should be fine. And some students, so एक alternative देता हूँ. I mean, CPA is for US market. Let's say if you want to break into European market as well, then CMA plus ACCA also exists. Again, the best benefit would be ACCA ka 70% study is already done under CMA. So you have to just study for additional 30% and give your ACCA ke remaining exams. And you get, you build, I mean, not complete expertise into reporting, uske liye IFRS diploma and बाकी की चीजें हैं, but you will build a strong foundation in IFRS reporting, plus overall जो भी लगता है for European market as a chartered accountant, either audit or reporting or taxation or, you get to learn that as well, depending on the topics you have chosen. Okay, so Ibrahim, I hope I have answered your question. Is coaching necessary for CMA? How should I daily study? Lucky this, let me just copy all the questions. And before I start with question, let me also check. Chalo, course and certification is done. So let's move to dedicated Q&A now. I'll take up all the questions. काफी questions है chat box में. I'll do a quick check. कुछ miss किया है क्या मैंने? Ananya, I've answered. Lucky, I've answered. How many exams are there in a year? Lucky there are around 3 exams in a year. Exam windows and इनका exam system थोड़ा अलग है. It is very similar to Book My Show. Imagine that you have been given period of 2 months. Whenever you see a seat available, just book it, go and sit for the exam. तो दो दो महीने का स्लॉट होता है, जैन फेब मई जून सितंबर अक्टूबर. Whenever you are comfortable or prepared, just book your seat, go and sit for the exam. Please send me your answer. Okay, you are asking for answer, not number. ठीक है. What should we pursue after CMA? So Ibrahim, I hope I've answered your question. After completing CMA, do we have exemptions? Exemptions from the professional certification level, that's a different category. Usually, students have 5 exemptions standard Indian market. Mein. Those exemptions are there. But yes, for CMA specifically beyond 5, nothing special. Usually, depending on the university and degree, exemptions are in place. Khushi, can we gain our 2 years of experience of US CMA alongside of BCom? Kushi, you can gain that experience, but I'll tell you how the market works. If we talk about big companies, MNCs, they don't hire undergraduates, they hire graduates. मतलब bachelor's degree आने के बाद they offer you a job. As an undergraduate, they can offer you either internship, apprenticeship, articleship, corporate trainee jobs, life projects. So these are not full-time jobs. If you want छोटे मोटे कंपनी में कर सकते हो, but it's your choice. I would recommend student हो, जिंदगी भर बाद में काम ही करना है, focus on learning right now. Job can be done later on. Is coaching necessary? How many hours of daily study? Yeah, lucky. Coaching depends on a person to person. There's no standard rule. Let's say if this is your first certification, uh, if you don't have, let's say, strong hold over how accounting works, how finance works, then preferably get a teacher, get coaching. There's someone to assist you. But एक बार अगर लग रहा है कि चलो, if you think that you can do self study, give it a try. Start करो. If you are facing issues, coming up with doubts, not getting resolved, then definitely get hold of a coach or a mentor. Should I start US CMA after 12th? सौरभ, अभी वो ट्रेंड बन गया है, तो you can consider starting. There is, again, it's up to you how you are planning your career ahead. But yes, make sure that you at least have one professional certification after 12. CMA perfectly fine, fits well. Shravani is asking, is CPA good or ACCA or CFA after USCMA? I've given you pros and cons of both, Shravani. So it's up to you now. Whichever you like, go ahead with it.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Yes. Agam, if I get into tier 3 college BCom, what steps should I take? Roadmap to build a strong career ahead. Steps for a strong career ahead, just follow the trajectory I've given. उसमें just add one layer of extracurricular activities that can help you stand out. If you're specifically talking about strong career, so उसमें there are so many things you can do. There's a college where I go to teach, so I have a small group of students. उनसे मैं सब ये extracurricular करवाता हूँ. Last year, my so the group that I mentored went for a national level case study competition, ACCA. They also won third prize. So such things you can do. I'll tell you all the extracurricular activities which I think are good. First is you can go ahead with research paper. ये PhD का एक छोटा version होता है. You need to do this under your college professor. Second is case study practice. Once you're done with practice, all you have to do is enter into competition. Third, do some internships and life projects. Okay. Fourth one. Now this is something not everyone would agree with, but something I feel helps a lot. There is a segment of creating your profile and projects. See, if you come in from a good college where you have placement support, or if you're with a good institute where you have placement support, let's say if you're with FinStreet, I'll keep this chalo optional because we are there to support you. But if you're coming in from, let's say, tier 3 college specifically, and you want to truly stand out, pick sample of different project work, create a portfolio, and keep it ready as a CV. This really, helps candidates stand out. Saurav Gupta, please don't draw. I hope this helps. Sir, US CMA good option after 12th. Yes, good option. सैलरी आफ्टर यूएस सीएमए, अभी तो 2 वीडियोस आके गए हैं, बट लेट मी देन हाईलाइट. सी एज अ फ्रेशर from tier 2 tier 3 college, tier 1 college you have chances of landing somewhere between 5 to 6, again depending on the placement support from the college. But if you're tier 2 tier 3, there's a good chance during your graduation, by the bachelor's degree, there's a good chance you will be off campus hiring ke liye, you'll enter the market, and the range as a fresher is between 3 to 4 lakh rupees or 3 to 5 lakh rupees. So on conservative end, on optimistic end, after 2 years of experience, means once you actually become CMA, ये है फ्रेशर का. यहाँ पे expect a range of 6 to 8 lakh rupees depending on where you are, 8 to 10 lakh rupees. If you are, let's say, in tier 1 cities such as Mumbai, Gurgaon, Bangalore, 8 से 10 मिल जाता है. थोड़ा सा लोअर एंड, थिंक ऑफ पुणे, इंदौर, सूरत, कोलकाता, tier 2 में थोड़ा सा यहाँ तक चला जाएगा. चलो, फेयरली मेट्रोपॉलिटन मैंने बहुत ही नीचे नहीं लाया है, बट दिस इज द रेंज यू कैन एक्सपेक्ट आफ्टर 2 years ऑफ एक्सपीरियंस. नाउ इसके बाद योर प्रमोशन, स्विच, करियर ट्रेजेक्टरी, एवरीथिंग कम्स इनटू पिक्चर कि आप 20 30 40 तक जाओगे या 50 60 तक जाओगे या 1 CR प्लस जाओगे. डिपेंड्स ऑन अदर एक्टिविटीज दैट यू आर टेकिंग अप. सो Agam, I hope that answers your query. What about scope of BBA marketing, brand management for those who don't want to go into core accounting or finance? See, for branding and marketing, scope is always there. मार्केटिंग का इतना ही कंसर्न है कि मार्केटिंग इज मोर ऑफ मोर आर्ट देन साइंस. फाइनेंस में कैसा ये सही है ये गलत है. मार्केटिंग में इफ यू हैव इनफ मनी, यू आर द बेस्ट मार्केटर इन द वर्ल्ड, or you can then try out 10 different campaigns, whichever works, you're successful. But if you have no money, then it's a tough call. And to be honest, market is filled with marketing and brand managers. Successful brand managers are very few, but the market is filled with marketeers or so-called marketeers. So it's थोड़ा सा commoditize हो गया है. So till the time you prove your metal, थोड़ा सा struggle रहेगा. I mean, each career has its peak point. So I won't compare it to finance accounting, but yeah, from my perspective, as I said, marketing is more of an art, accounting, finance, more of science, you can prove things, plus minus. With efforts, I think US CMA is doable, but I also have data analysis in mind. What should I do? So, Ibrahim, if you want to do data analysis in finance, then CMA will definitely be helpful. डेटा एनालिसिस के लिए कोई डोमेन पता होना इज ऑलवेज हेल्पफुल. इफ यू आर लेट्स से एनालिटिक्स इनटू मार्केटिंग, तो वहां पर अलग डेटा साइंस का ट्रेजेक्टरी यू कैन पिक अप. डेटा एनालिसिस इनटू फाइनेंशियल डेटा, आई मीन व्हाट डू अकाउंटेंट्स एंड मैनेजर्स डू? डेटा एनालिसिस ही करते एंड ऑफ द डे, बट वी डू फाइनेंशियल डेटा एनालिसिस, सो वी आर फाइनेंस प्रोफेशनल. Is MBA necessary after US CMA? No, Agam, I've given you all the options. Pick anyone. What necessary is keep improving, keep doing something so that you are ahead of the competition. Don't wait for problems to show up. I have so many friends in my circle who started a lot of courses along with me. Somewhere through the they get jobs, they got some opportunities, उन्होंने फिर certification छोड़ दिया, and 5 6 years down the line they realize, okay, now the market is tough, अब promotion चाहिए, but someone else is getting the promotion, someone else is getting better opportunities. Why? Certifications, your credibility matters, your skills in the market matters. BBA के लिए exemptions, Ananya, it's case by case. If you need clarity on assumptions, just send us your mark sheet. No charges taken. We won't charge anything. Just send us the data. हम exemption check करके we will get back to you. But I'll tell you, a standard exemption in Indian market is for 5 subjects, 3 from your knowledge level and 2 from your skills level. उसके beyond जाना है, it's always good to check with institute. We do that. सो अगर किसी को अलग आ रहा है, जैसे वी हैड सम सीए कैंडिडेट जिनको 7 सब्जेक्ट्स का मिला, किन कुछ स्टूडेंट्स को 9 सब्जेक्ट्स का मिलता है. इट्स ऑलवेज गुड टू चेक. कॉस्ट ऑफ डूइंग यूएस सीएमए कोर्स, दैट इज समथिंग माय टीम कैन हेल्प यू विद. डिस्काउंट्स वगैरह होते हैं, वो डिस्कशन मुझे इस मतलब करियर आफ्टर 12th में नहीं करना. कैन आई डू स्किल कोर्सेज along with BCom? Yes, Vanshika. I mean, if you're part of FinStreet, we already have a lot of skill courses plus AI in finance coming soon. Can pursue all that. Can I get job after passing US CMA? So Yes, you do get jobs after completing US CMA. I got it. इसलिए मैंने एक पूरा सीरीज ही स्टार्ट कर दिया US CMA सक्सेस स्टोरीज. आप देख सकते हो. They have shared their experiences. And by the way, they get jobs because they are deserving the job because of all the effort they've put in. एक डिग्री, एक सर्टिफिकेट doesn't give you a pass to a job. It gives you a pass to a interview, and then it depends on how you perform in the interview. तो बहुत सारी चीजें आ जाती. Certificate is just one kind of factor that helps you along. Abroad में jobs, yes, there are there. I have students from Middle East, US, UK, and these are, I mean, Indian origin students. Ayush, foreign abroad opportunity after US CMA. Yes, we have a actually different webinar on that, Ayush. I would recommend you to watch it. Career abroad after US CMA. I've explained all the top markets, Middle East वगैरह. US में क्या challenges है ये भी explain किया है. How US CMA versus Indian CMA is better. So lucky इसके ऊपर again there's a separate video. If you are very much interested in knowing, I'll also guide you to that video. ठीक है. Just go on YouTube, search US CMA versus Indian CMA Aditya Sheila. Can you see this video? US CMA versus Indian CMA. There you go. Okay. So, oh, stop. Let's continue. Sir, I was preparing for entrance, BCom, good match with US CMA, compulsory attendance. Ananya, even if it is compulsory attendance, do attend college, okay? It's quite helpful. And it's a good college, yes. Is Indian CA a good option after 12th because you option open your own firm and fresher salary is 12 to 15? Agam, in my experience, CA freshers don't get 12 to 15. I had only one person in my circle जिसने AIR निकाला था, All India rank. उसको मिला था as I mean after becoming CA, the first package he got was 12. I have so many CAs. मेरा खुद का बैचमेट मेरा CA है. I've seen all the ups and downs. See, if you're interested, if you're capable enough, more important is capable enough. Go ahead. Indian CA is a good option, but understand the difficulty and जो glamorization था या मेरे experience में जो है वो उतना नहीं है what you are quoting. I've seen CAs getting placed at 5 lakh also. Sir, what about BA Accounting and Finance from University Dubai? I'm a student from BA Accounting and Finance. So it's a mix of BA and Finance and Accounts. Should be fine. The accounting and finance part will assist you. Sir, what should be in a student to start US CMA? Sort of a strong why. Okay. Why you want to pursue US CMA? It could be financial motivation. It could be just to prove something to the world. It could be for your own satisfaction. But yeah, a strong why always helps you pass US CMA. And second, जो एक typical rigor चाहिए, discipline चाहिए, वो तो है ही. ठीक है, you cannot be motivated every day. So you have to be disciplined. Once you wake up every morning, you should know what you're working towards. That's it, guys. I think I've covered all the questions. So thank you for sparing your Sunday. I hope the overall session helped. All the best for your career ahead. Yes, Shravani.
Uh, so, one question that after US CMA, currently I'm preparing for US CMA part
Hmm.
one. After US CMA, ACCA or one, how is because having interest in audit also. So,
Okay.
how it will work like US CMA plus ACCA plus CFA.
Okay. That's a lot on your plate. But to be honest, you won't find or you won't end up in a role where you'll be using all three. Okay, I've been a case study kind of in this where I did CMA, where I did FRM, where I did some levels of CFA. But eventually, I realized when I was working in risk, CMA, CFA hardly played any role, and FRM was good enough. When I moved to business analyst role, the CMA knowledge helped in risk, thoda bahut, CFA hardly enough. When I was in equity research, CFA knowledge helped in, FRM had very less scope, and again, CMA had moderate scope. So usually when you enter into a role, एक aligned जो course है that help करता है, that already helps. So as I said, if you want to go into audit, taxation, law to some extent, then CMA plus your ACCA should be helpful for European market, CPA for US market. CFA की तरफ तभी जाना when you have interest in कोर कैपिटल मार्केट्स, स्टॉक मार्केट वगैरह कैसे रन करता है बेसिकली, एंड यू आर इन अ पोजीशन वेयर यू आर एबल टू हैंडल heavy level of statistics or quantitative aptitude. Definitely go for CFA as well. And interest है तो सब कुछ pursue करो. It's always good to learn. Uh, I have interest, तो मैं 10 चीजें करता रहता हूँ. But is it practical enough? No. But do I still like it? Yes. So I'm doing it. मेरा, as a student, I had this dream that whenever I sit on any table in any company, I should be able to understand what they're saying, what they're talking about, or rather, I should be in a position to advise them. So the journey started with professional certifications. MBA was always on my mind. मैं पहले abroad plan कर रहा था, but looking at, I got a chance to visit US, uh, got to see how things are. देख के I wasn't interested. I came back and I said, चलो, let me try India. And again, through student exchange, I went to Europe. So US, Europe देख के आया, देखने के बाद भी I have somewhat this sentiment that Indian MBA at tier 1 is much better. A few exceptions are there abroad, but Indian CMA, Indian MBA is much much more competitive. So more than learning what what character is being built at MBA or B schools in India, it's quite interesting. So yes, that was my target. If you have any unique vision, please follow that.
Yes, thank you, sir.
US CMA helps in moving abroad. Ayush, यार करता है, but there's a lot. I had recently one student who got a call from company in Netherlands and made it to third round. So first experience, ठीक है, उसके पूरे process में I was there. First is, it's very very rare to find out a company who will sponsor your visa. That's the starting point. If you have some exceptional skills, 7-8 साल का experience है in, let's say, FP&A, business partnership वगैरह, if you're young enough, you have achieved a lot, good chance. फिर मिल जाता है वो उसको. And once you land that interview, then you have to outperform because you are competing globally. इंडिया से मूव होना है तो, let's say if the company is Netherlands, candidates in Netherlands are applying, whole Europe are applying, US are applying, India are applying, Sri Lanka, Nepal, China, everywhere, everyone is applying. So now we are competing at a global level. तो वहां पर interviews crack करना है. Crack करने के बाद, if you make it to the final round, 5-6 rounds रहते हैं. If you make it to the final round, if the case is convincing enough, the company will take a bet on you and वो बुला लेंगे आपको. That is one approach. Second approach is, if you have a support system who's there already, then they take a flight, move abroad, and then locally start applying, and then convert that local connect into a good long term opportunity. I have again batchmates who just took a flight, went there. उनके चाचा मामा कोई था US में था, दुबई में था. They went there, stayed with them, interviewed directly in person and convert कर लिया. So that is second approach. That second one is much more easy, but as I highlighted, it needs some support over there. So we have a strong support in India, but abroad ke liye we have network. So there are two aspects of our network, Saurabh. One is our existing students. We have students from more than 12 countries. They help a lot in terms of getting you openings, referrals. Second is, we also keep track of the foreign market, wherever we see any opening specifically from Indian founders वगैरह, we assist you with that. There are IMA chapters. अगर आप CMA करते हो तो IMA chapters है, ACCA वगैरह है तो उनका, they have a campus platform. India level भी, abroad also there are certain bodies where we can reach out. So we help you or assist you with that. So उससे हो जाता है. But again, as I've given you complete context, all these things are required. Glad to know, Shravani. New role introduced by IMA for exam paper. उसके ऊपर lucky. Just visit my page. You'll get all these answers. Okay. Enjoy your Sunday, guys. Thank you for attending the session.